Alright, welcome back to Shaving with Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi y'all on a Monday evening. And got work tonight. Going back and doing that thing. Did a day shift yesterday. Tell you what, you day shift people are special. That's all I can say about that. But anyway, I got through it. 12-hour day shift after a busy week. So I caught up on a bunch of sleep last night, which means that I couldn't sleep this afternoon. So it's going to be another fun night tonight. I'll have to get back on my sleep pattern tomorrow. But anyway, getting off a sleep pattern can be interesting when you work nights. But anyway, we just got a little, day or so growth here, a couple of days. I don't remember if I shaved before I went to work for a day shift yesterday or what. I think I did, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we're going to shave off. So, hadn't done one in a while, so I thought I'd do a signature shave. Well, what's a fuzzy signature shave? Some of you may not know. I bet a lot of you do, though. So it's Williams soap. This time it's the more modern stuff, not the tallow first stuff. Of course, all of it, since it's not being made anymore, is going to be vintage. But the newer stuff. I've got my favorite Boar brush, which is the Smog 1305. If you don't have a 1305, you need to get one. They're a beautiful brush. Mine's been customized by Miss Luna, my little doggy. So it looks kind of rough. But anyway, it's still a Smog 1305. We're going to use my favorite 1912, which came from a Gem G3 set, which was a military set, Bakelite handle. A new Treat carbon steel blade. I prefer carbon steel over stainless steel, even though I get you got to clean it, dry it, all this stuff. I get it. A lot of people don't like it. However, I think it's very much a good thing. And then we'll finish up with the good old Aqua Velva Ice Blue. That is a fuzzy signature shave. And there's the razor there. Bakelite handle, just a plain Jim Jr., nothing fancy about it. Got a brand new Treat blade. I buy these local. There's actually a grocery store not too far from, well, it's across town a little bit, but still not far. And they sell the Treat blades, so I buy those local still. Used to the Powell Blues were my favorite, because I could buy those local when I lived somewhere else. But anyway, over here, it's the Treats that I can get local, so that's my favorite carbon steel blade right now. I have plenty of the Gem stainless steel blades. I got tons of them. And I use one every once in a while. Razor's a razor, blade's a blade. But in this case, we're going to use a new carbon steel blade. And, we're going to do a classic single edge shave, which to me is the best. I can get really good shaves from two-sided thingies, what we call unmentionables at Toast. What does Toast just say? Toast 3, T-O-S-T, the number 3.com. There's a little website, really quiet over there these days, and but it's a little website. It's just for single edge and injector razors. Everything else is unmentionable. And single edge safety razors. Don't come over there with those, those great razors. They're unmentionable. We don't even allow pictures. If you want to post a shave of the day that's got an unmentionable in it, we allow that, but you got to block the unmentionable out. We don't even unmentionable blades we don't allow. With the exception, there are some single edge razors that use unmentionable blades. In that case, you can post it. And shade razors, we allow shade razors. That's the single half of a DE. And so they're one-sided, kind of, we allow that. I love a good shade razor. And they were taking some two-sided thingies and grinding one side of them off and making a shade razor out of them. Those are definitely allowed. And I never got around to making one for myself. I've got a donor two-sided thingy that one of these days, it's going to happen. But anyway, we're going to work the Williams up. Now, I know everybody poo-poos on the newer Williams about it can't lather it and it don't last and all this stuff. I fought that battle for years. I'm a Williams fan, have been a Williams fan, will remain a Williams fan, even though they quit making it. Before they quit making it, it was one of the, I think it was the first soap that was made for, here. They started it out in the 1800s, 1840? Is that what it was? See, I can't remember my facts right now. It's been too long since I looked them up. But anyway, And there used to be tallow first, and then they changed the recipe, and it wasn't tallow first anymore, and everybody started hating on it. But all it takes is a little technique. We're going to start out with a fairly dry brush, just a little damp. We don't bloom it. If you want to bloom something, go plant you some flowers. There's no need to bloom the Williams. And we're going to make a paste, and then we're going to add water to that paste as we go, just dipping the very tips of the brush. Well, that's my 1305. Miss Luna got hold of it years ago, and she customized it for me. But anyway, still a really, really good brush. She didn't hurt the bristles any. So Smog, good brush, and the 1305 is my favorite. It's a personal thing, but that's mine. So there we go. So we do 3 passes, and the first pass is with the grain. And it's important to know, which way your beard grows so that you know that you're going with the grain. I think a lot of problems people have with irritation and stuff is they don't know, and they think they're going with the grain and they're going, against the grain. And I'll tell you to start with, Fuzzy doesn't shave against the grain. I do with the grain, across the grain, and then I do a touch-up pass with witch hazel. So it's 2 lather passes and then a touch-up pass with witch hazel. So you want to be sure that you know which way your beard grows, and so that you're going with the grain. Most people can go with the grain. Most people can go across the grain, and you don't get a lot of irritation. You're going to get your irritation when you're trying to go against the grain. And then you have the tough people that seem to have something to prove. I'm not sure why. It's just shaving. And they're going to jump in and go against the grain to start with, prove they're tough. Okay, whatever. Knock it out if that's how you feel about it. I don't got anything to prove. I don't got to drive a jacked up truck with all the wheels sticking out on it. Saw one of those today. The guy was turning in at the grocery store. I went and bought some stuff. And he couldn't even make the turn. He had to back up, which to me means he don't know how to drive. And he gets out and he's a little 5 foot nothing. I'm not making fun of short people. This particular dude, though, was kind of like a banty rooster walking around. Big old jacked up Ford F-250 Super Duty on the big tires and everything. And at least he didn't have it squatted. That's the most ridiculous thing I see in the world around here. We got squatted trucks, even though I think they're illegal in a lot of places. I don't know about here. It doesn't bother me that much. But these guys driving these squatted trucks, you can't see over the hood, and then when I'm driving my little hoopty car, the headlights shine right up in there because they don't adjust the headlights. And I find it extremely annoying. All right, so now we're going to go across the grain. And I'm not real particular about which way I go. Sometimes I go one direction across. Sometimes I turn around and go the other direction across. As long as it's across the grain, not against the grain, we're okay. And we're going to go up here and come across. So you notice on that second pass, we used a lighter coating. You don't need to bake buttercream when you're making lather anyway. You have all these folks, especially people that like to bowl lather, which is, I think bowl lathering is I think it's a medical condition. They ought to have meds for that, people that like to bowl lather. But anyway, face lathering is, how God intended it. And but anyway, they build these big piles and mounds of buttercream type lather for some reason. You're not doing any good. It's not going to help you shave. What helps you shave is your technique. If you want to make butter cake, go bake you a cake. Make you some buttercream to ice your cake with. Then you can get it out of your system. So anyway, so there's our 2 passes with the grain across the grain. Let's take a quick look here. And I'll show you what happens after 2 passes. I could have quit after 1 pass, and wouldn't nobody, who's going to walk up and feel your face for your shave? I guess somebody might do that once. But anyway, witch hazel, just regular old, cheap as I can find it, witch hazel. It's got, 14% alcohol in it. if you do happen to have any irritation, which is going to happen sometimes, I used a two-sided thingy the other day, and I got a couple of weepers. I think I was talking too much. But anyway, it was one that was new to me. But razor and a blade's a blade. If the razor will hold the blade where you can keep consistent pressure and angle, and it's a sharp blade, it'll shave. All these folks that can only shave with certain types of razors, or heavy handles, or long handles, or short handles, and all this stuff, they have technique problems. That's the big thing. Learn to do something when you're doing it. That's always fun. I enjoy going to a shooting range, and I'm far from anti-Oakley. If I buy the whole target, I want to use the whole target. My firearms instructor does not get a kick out of that joke. But anyway, when I go to qualify for work, he doesn't get it. But learning to do something is generally the best way to do it. I mean, if you're going to shoot, learn to shoot. There's some skill sets and stuff that make it easier. Same way with shaving. Nothing complicated. It's just shaving. But good technique, and you can pick up any razor you want to, whether it be a unmentionable, an injector razor, or a single edge, which to me are easier to use than any of the others. And you know, you wonder about, well, what's my shaving angle and everything. Your shaving angle is pretty much top of the razor right there. Matter of fact, Jim, when they built, see, I got one here somewhere. When they built the Micromatics and the clog proof and everything, they tell you run it flat on your face, and they tell you that for a reason, because that's how it works the best. And if you got to come up a little bit off of it, it shouldn't be much. You're always gonna have the folks, well, it works a little bit better if you do this, and you spread a little magic fairy dust and twinkle toes, and you know, technique. Learn technique. If you're having problems with rough shaves, and you're using a sharp blade and everything, you know, and a razor that's not broke. That's you know, you can't make a dull blade shave, and if a razor's broken, it's not holding the blade firm, or it's holding the blade all wavy and wonky, well, you're probably not going to get a good shave from that. But if you have a razor that will hold the blade so that you can get consistent pressure and angle, and the blade sharp, it'll shave. And that's just kind of how it is. All right, well, that's a signature shave. That's what we came out with right there. I can tell you it's a really, really high quality, dang nice shave that we're used to around here. Get my old smog washed out of here. And also another thing, don't be afraid when you're drying your brush to swirl it. That's another thing gets on my nerves, is people hollering you shouldn't swirl the brush because you're going to tear it up. Ain't true. I don't care if it's badger, if it's horse, if it's boar. It's okay. Trust me on this one. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here. I made some baked spaghetti for supper. Me and my partner are going to have some baked spaghetti. Then it'll be time for me to start getting ready for work. So there we go. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, learn technique. That's the important part. And happy shaves to you.